What is going on, guys? Chump Change XD here. Hope you're all staying healthy, having a great day. Today I got two 6000 XPs here hanging on the wall, and we need to wire this guy up. We're just going to do a quick and dirty DIY wiring this thing. I want to show you guys how I wire it to the battery bank that I have here. I need to get the cable output ran from the bottom of this, obviously, up to the electrical panel. This is just some 10-2 wire, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 10-2. We have a ground and two hots, right? So this is actually okay because it's a short run. I would preferably like to make it like 8 gauge or 6 gauge, but to be honest, I had this cord laying around and this 6 gauge wire is way oversized. I actually just did this because I had this laying around as well, and it works flawlessly. But if you look at a sizing chart, 10 gauge wire should be fine within a, this is literally only like a 5-foot run, 6 feet max. So we got that there. Then I got a 30 amp breaker, another one. I got another 40 amp breaker for the input in. And then I actually am going to install a 20 amp breaker as well. This is a 120 volt breaker. As you can see, I need 120 because I think I'm going to be disassembling this grow watt setup with all these batteries here at some point, because I'm really only using these for the exhaust fans at the time of recording. So it's kind of one of those things that it just takes up a lot more room than I would like, and I really don't need it. So we're gonna be throwing that in. I ended up getting some more of these cable gland bushings here. This is a 1.5 inch one that I need for the battery input lines. That's the size of the hole that they actually give you on the bottom of this inverter. Then I have a couple 1-inch ones because I used all of the 1-inch ones that were in my kit. I think these are 1-inch. Yeah, these are 1-inch. 1-inch NPT, as you can see. So got 4 of those in a kit, and then all the other ones that I need I should have inside this guy. I have an 1.25 inch one, and then I have yeah, I think these are the 3/4 ones that I would need for the other stuff, like the communication wire and such. Yeah, this is 3/4. So we should be good. We have everything we need, and then I got the parallel cable here. Oh, and I actually just received the EG4 LL battery firmware update cable. It's a USB by a RS-232 connector, more or less. Looks like a network cable, right? So I have to plug in that at some point. I'm probably going to do it in another video and update these bottom 3 batteries, because as of right now they will not communicate properly altogether. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, but is what it is. They're all working fine. Everything's good. Actually, you know what? Let's see what I'm looking like, because I haven't looked at these batteries in a couple days, and we'll just see what the percentage is at right now. Oh wow, they're at 100%. Oh damn, they're all at 100%. Man, I need to turn some other stuff on, because I'm only pulling 1700 watts as of right now, and clearly I'm getting a shit ton of sun today. Damn. Anyways, I gotta shut this whole thing off regardless right now, so I'll focus on that in a little bit. Right now, if you guys are wondering, I have the Mini Doge 3 Plus running. I get the AL Box 2 going. I have all 10 KS0s, the Pros, the Ultra, and I also have the AL0 right here running. So all that stuff is up and mining away, and that's getting me to the 1700 watts. And this system will actually only take in however many watts it actually needs. So right now my panels are probably only taking in about 1700 watts. Let's just see. Where are we at? 250, 260 volts. All right, so we're getting 1,000 watts there, and like 980 watts there. So yeah, it's roughly right exactly at, the 17 to 1900 range. If these batteries were depleted, I'd be getting over 4,000 easily, clearly, because yeah, it's a really, really nice day out today, actually. All right, anyways, let's do a quick and dirty install on this guy. I'm going to take this apart. I got to get those battery cables connected to this, but that means I got to shut this entire thing down. I got to get the communication cables obviously tied between the 2 units, because this is going to be the master unit and that's going to be the slave unit, they consider it. Yeah, so that's this cable right here that's going to be controlling the 2. I do have a separate Wi-Fi dongle. I don't even know if I need to put that in as of right now, but what I'm going to do is just hook everything up, make sure it works, then I'm going to shut it back off, and I'm actually going to talk to my guy over at Signature Solar. And if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, please go check out the link down in the description below. Use Chump Change XD for $50 off your first order. So first thing was first, I just had to shut off all the output. I only have 100 watts being pulled there now for the PDU and this AL0. That's the only one I actually didn't label on this dashboard of the PDU. Everything else I could shut off remotely. So I'm just gonna unplug that because, yeah, that doesn't really matter. But you can see now we're only pulling 5 watts. So what we're going to do is honestly kill the load out here. We're going to witness all that shutting off. I'm going to kill the breaker to the batteries, and I'm going to kill the actual unit itself. And I'm actually, you know what, just for safety measures, kill the panel input. Not that I'm going to be touching any of that anyways, so I shouldn't have to go over to the pergola and actually kill that, so that should be fine. I do have to shut off all of these batteries, kill all of them. As you know, they're already at 100% anyways, so I'm not really losing anything here. Killing all these breakers just for safety measure. And then I think we're good to go, to be honest. Because now this whole thing's dead. I'll just, whatever, I'll shut those off just for shits. But I'm going to put the other 40 amp, as you can see I got a 40 amp here. I'm going to put the other one right here and the other 30 amp here. And I think I'm going to put the 20 amp right above the 30. And then worst case, I could always move it up at a later date if I ever put a third 6000 XP in here, if we could make room for it. But anyways, all right, let's get this off. Let me get these covers off here and let's start wiring it. So that wasn't too bad. I got the other 40 amp right above this one, like I said. I got the 30 amp here and the 20 amp here. Again, I can always move the 20 amp up as time goes on, but I'm not going to be wiring this other 30 amp outlet as of right now. I don't have another meter box that I can actually steal at this current moment. I have one in my studio, but I'll have to take it down and disassemble it, so I'm not going to deal with that right now. I'm just going to leave this breaker off, not like it matters anyways, but this one's going to be staying off too because I'm actually not going to have any panels into it, so it's not really going to be feeding with any you know, power. The only other thing that stinks is I do have a surge protector on this first breaker here, which is coming from this guy, right? The other surge protector I have in up here is actually surge protecting the entire panel, so I should be fine. I would like to have it uniform and have a third surge protector on this guy and just kind of mount it right above it, but these things being so freaking big, I don't think I'll be able to do that. So the one that's taking the bulk of the power, I'm going to leave the surge protector on that, and then this one again should cover anything else inside this panel when worst comes to worst, or if worst comes to worst. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen, right? All right, anyways, let's actually close this back up because I think I'm done inside here now. You can see I got the ground ran over to the ground point. I got the 2 hot legs tied in, and yeah, we should be good there. And then I got the wire looping down here. I got a ground here, and I got the hots tied in right there to the load breaker. So now all I got to do is the batteries and tie in the parallel connection port. Actually, you know what I'm going to do right now is put the parallel port in here. I'm just going to check the book quick, make sure I tie it into the proper location, because then I can actually just put this cover on, get the battery landed, and I can turn everything on pretty fast. So let me figure out which port I need to pop this into. This guy, I'm actually going to route it behind all this stuff and probably zip tie it to this power cord coming down, and then it's going to go up right here and into whatever port it actually calls for. So let me check the book, see which one I got to put this in, and then we're going to close this up and go from there. All right, everything is landed in the panel. Panel covers back on. You can see the breakers are all off as of right now. I got to turn on this guy now. So looking in the book, right, real quick over here, you can see it says when you parallel these things, the first one needs to be on, if that would focus. Switches need to be up, and the last one needs to be on as well. So what I'm going to do is actually talk to the rep when I am doing these batteries anyways, and I'll ask him the question, because I'm not going to get this guy turned on. There's really no point. Again, this thing is not going to be feeding anything inside the battery bank or whatever, because there's no panels hooked up to it as of yet. So I got to the communication port right here, or the parallel connection port right here, right? I left the dip switches off because I'm still going to run it as a single unit. It's not going to get anything from this because this unit's going to stay off, but I did stick it right into the parallel port here. Then I did land the battery cables. I'll show you guys those. I ended up getting my own bolt, and I put one right down here, again cross connecting the two, and the negative right up here. So obviously positive on the left, negative on the right, but they're nice and tight, a nut and a bolt on each side. So I'm happy that we have all four corners now of this bus bar tied in, two to this guy, two to that guy. So that's done, and then again, you guys saw this landed, so got that all situated, good to go. I just need to zip tie this parallel cable down here to make it look somewhat neat. All right, so now I'm going to throw this cover on, just this one, and I'm going to put one screw in it because I'm probably going to have to take it off once I get the parallel connection turned on and situated. So let's do that quick, and then we'll get this thing on. All right, I just put one screw in there, so we should be good to go. Let's get the battery switch. Actually, you know what? I got to turn the batteries on first. Duh. Got to turn on all these guys, and then we can turn on all the breakers. And power is going to go to that bottom unit, but the breaker on that bottom unit is going to remain off right there. So we should be good. Again, all these batteries are at 100%. Let's turn all these guys on. Now, the bus bars are live, which means these cables and obviously the other ones are live. That's going to stay off. Let's turn on this one. Okay, and we're going to turn on the unit here. I'm actually going to turn on the panels as well. Perfect. Unit came on. Let's turn on the load. We don't have any sparks. Everything's good. This is going to bother me a little bit, to be honest. The bottom one should go in on the bottom, but it is what it is. OCD is going to hate me for a bit. All right, you can see we got power here at the panel. That surge protector's got those lights. That thing's actually awesome. All right, bottom one and bottom one. So we should get power. Perfect. All right, now I can put my AL box on, and we should be good for the night because the sun is actually on its way down. You know what? I am going to throw the cover on that just because those lugs are live, and I don't want my kids to come in here for some reason and touch it with their fingers because that would really suck. Quick cleanup, and that's all she wrote. Got the cover on that now, all good to go. AL box 2, the Caspa miners, and I think that's it. Oh, the AL0 is actually on. Everything's running. You can see 1300 watts. All the batteries are completely charged, so I could literally leave all this stuff up overnight and it should last completely fine. But let's just see what we're getting for wattage right now. 230 volts. Oh, we're only getting 250 watts from the first string and 160 from the second string. Terrible, but that is because everything right now is in the shade over where my pergola is. So that is gonna do it for this video. In the next video, we'll get this parallel unit on. I'll get all my questions answered from the rep over there, and I will probably end up taking the string of panels right here and throwing them into that guy for the time being once I get everything on, and then we'll be able to slowly remove this unit because yeah, we won't need it anymore. But anyways, guys, have a great day. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.